has won the acclaim of drug rehabilitation experts, but it also has generated lawsuits. We'll show the program and the controversy after this. The Weekly Reader, the little newspaper that has kept elementary school kids happy for many years, has recently done a survey on drugs, and its readers tell the publication that 25% of all fourth grade children feel their age group is pressured to try drugs, and that 50% of all seventh grade kids report pressure to try drugs. There are drugs sold in virtually every high school and junior high school in the United States. Well, there's a program down in Florida that's trying to do something about adolescent drug use, and it is employing unusual methods. Tom Jarrell has the story.
Tom? Hugh, this is a program headquartered in St. Petersburg, Florida, but it has branches in Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, and Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a program that on the surface is strict, militaristic, even cultish, but it's a program that's working for an awful lot of families. From the outside, it looks like any junior high school anywhere in the country, and the kids here look like kids anywhere. But these aren't just any kids, and this is not just any school. This is Straight Incorporated, a drug rehabilitation center. It's considered by many experts to be the most effective drug treatment program for adolescents available. The kids here talk about the drugs they've done.
Pot, alcohol, hash oil, Thai stick, opium, treated pot like with PCP, ups, downs, different kinds of prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, mescaline, acid, mushrooms, MDA, THC, PCP, morphine, rush, and I've also cocaine. I also shot up cocaine, and I also shot up THC.
They talk about doing drugs where you would least expect it.
I was with a science teacher, and I went over to his house. It was after school hours. And I went over to his house, and we did cocaine with each other. It was just, you know, like we were joy friends. And I went over there. I sold him cocaine. We sat there and snorted it right there in his living room.
Me and Annette, my best friend, we were vice president and president of the youth group. And there were a lot of times we'd leave church. We used church as a support for us to leave the church grounds and go get high.
They talk about places they hid drugs.
And also in my stereo speakers, because I had cut a hole where the music I played, and I'd stuck the drugs in the bottom, and whenever I wanted drugs, all I had to do was, you know, turn my stereo speaker around and pull the drugs out.
I'd take it and I put it in my grandmother's car or something.
I would take the top off the dental floss and I would stick it in there, and then I'd put the top back on the dental floss.
Where do kids get drugs?
I could get them anywhere, at the mall, at the beach, at school, skating rink, down the street, just call people. It wasn't really hard. All my friends were using drugs. It's pretty easy.
My drug boyfriend would shoot me up with the needle, and I would just want to you know, pray that I wouldn't come down, or pray that I just OD and not ever wake up, because I just didn't want to face the world. I didn't want to face the next day.
The group leaders at Straight are former druggies themselves. In daily rap sessions, kids listen to kids.
I was screaming at my dad, and I was yelling at him, and I was cussing him out and everything, and I remember him coming in and saying, "Janelle, come back, don't run off like this," or something.
My parents came in, they saw dead look in my eyes, and I felt like I was going to be one of those people with a casket and a number on my toe or something, and a sheet over my head.
Most kids get into drugs because a friend says, "Here, try it," and they get pushed by peer pressure. So we've constructed a deliberately designed teenage peer culture that is anti-drugs, pro-responsible behavior, pro-achievement, pro-family, pro-good appearance, and pro-good moral values.
Miller Newton is National Clinical Director of Straight. What do you lose if you're a kid coming into this program, aside from access to drugs?
Well, you lose a lot of things initially. You lose living at home during the first phase, which you gain back on second phase. You lose going to school or work, which was an environment where you got high, and you get that back on third phase. You lose free time to fill. You get that back on fourth phase when you're prepared to handle that. You even lose at the beginning responsibility for yourself. You're not trusted. Your behavior in terms of using drugs, lying, stealing, cheating, means that you're suspect.
Because the new kid is suspect, he's assigned an old comer, a kid more advanced in the program, who becomes his friend and his guardian, to the point of holding onto his belt loop as a symbol of the kid's inability to be in control. A new kid in the program has all of his personal possessions, right down to his deodorant, checked to make sure he's not hiding drugs. But this is not a place where parents drop their kids off. Parents are required to participate. Every Monday and Friday night, parents come and they listen to kids. Theirs and hundreds of others talk about the pain of drug use.
I've been in the program for 6 days, and I admit it, I'm a druggie. I got 2 friends I had in Boston, where I'm from. They're now dead. One's dead and one's in jail doing life.
For the parents themselves, the open meetings are a time to talk to their kids about their feelings of hurt and feelings of love.
It's been 4 days, Scotty, and when we left you here 4 days ago, that was the hardest day of my life. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy we made a start. And it's a start, and we'll work together. And I love you so much, son.
I was watching you slowly kill yourself. You had become distant from us. You had become kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. I was never sure what I could say or not say, even good morning, and know how you were going to react. You're going to make it here. I know you are, son. We want you home so badly, but we want you straight, and we want to be a family again.
You wanted all kinds of freedom with no responsibility from me because you felt you were grown up enough. I'm angry, I'm hurt, and I am terrified for your life. And I'm terrified because I remembered that one counselor at the detention center telling us we could not keep you from running away. And when I said that day a girl's body had been found in Tampa when I was searching for you, and her description matched yours, and the terror I felt because until she was identified, and I know it wasn't you.
And siblings talk.
Chris, last year you weren't home for my birthday either. This year you aren't either. You know, it hurts pretty much. Because this year when you came home, that was the one thing I was looking forward to, was having you home for my birthday. It's one thing I've always wanted was a family home for my birthday.
And I want you to come home real soon, because I really miss you a lot. And when you do come home, I want to be your baby brother again. I want you to tell people that, because I'm proud of that. I love you.
I love you a lot more.
Some 3,000 kids have been through the Straight program, and more than 70% have graduated drug-free. But this is not a program without controversy. Fred Collins was taken to Straight by his parents, but he sued the program because he said he was held against his will. His parents and his brother testified against him, but because he was 18, the jury agreed. Collins was falsely imprisoned. Since that victory, several other lawsuits have followed. Hope Hiron spent only 48 hours in the program, but she too sued. Her parents disagreed.
When you arrived here with your daughter, your family was in emotional turmoil. You were being torn apart emotionally. Did you give any thought to the cool legal ramifications of putting an 18-year-old legal adult into this program?
She was my daughter, and I felt that I had that prerogative. I know it's the law, but I don't particularly adhere to this 18 as a child being an adult.
I did not look at her as an adult, generally because she did not act like an adult. She was dependent upon us. And I guess in spite of all the hurt that our family went through, we love her. We love her more than what the law would or could do to us.
Hope's lawyer, Bill Leffler.
I really have mixed feelings about it. As a parent, I'm glad to know that there's a resource that one could turn to for drug treatment, even though the child doesn't want to participate in it. But as a civil liberties lawyer and a citizen, it offends me that this program could, in effect, become a private jail.
I believe it's necessary when a kid's drug problem is out of control, that is out of control, can't stop using, is out of control in terms of behaving in self-destructive ways, that you have to place a kid in a very rigidly controlled, drug-free environment. An isolation ward, if you like, where they can't get to drugs until the body chemistry cleans up. I don't like the word imprison. Imprison implies punishment, and I've never seen anyone get well, make personal changes as a result of punishment. It occurs because they understand their problem and start to make some decisions to do something about it. I come down on the side of parents who love their kids enough to fight those who would let kids go, to make sure their child has a chance for safe adolescence and a healthy adulthood.
Every day, parents come here hoping to ensure that safe passage to adulthood for their children. For many of them, straight is their last hope. People like Dan and Irene Jones.
First of all, it was really 3 years before we would admit that our daughter was on drugs before we found out. And then being ignorant of drugs and what to look for and where to get help. Before we found Straight Incorporated, we spent $113,000 that we can document. It's probably closer to $150,000 in 9 years. We spent that on mental hospitals and psychiatrists and psychologists and emergency rooms, medical hospitals, and you name it, but mostly mental hospitals and psychiatrists. Not one doctor or psychiatrist, even in emergency rooms, would not tell us she had a drug problem.
While she was in the hospital on a detox, a 21-day plus detox, she was given $950 worth of drugs on a detox program of 30 days.
Denise Jones is doing well at Straight. She and the other kids here fight every day to make the decision to get straight. Peer counselors encourage them. Peer pressure got them on drugs. Peer pressure will get them off.
Whoever struggled with believing they can make it.
I don't know how I feel. I just felt really scared because I felt like I was about that close to giving up today. And it's scary.
Giving up on what?
On me. I don't understand because I know I don't want to, but...
Why don't you want to?
Because I care too much.
About what?
About me, because I hated the way I felt about 5 or 6 days ago when I screwed around. I hated feeling that way. I don't want to go back to it.
I know if I can stay straight for the day and the day only, I can make it for the rest of my life. You know, I don't worry about 10 years from the future from now because I'm not there. I don't even know if I'm going to live tomorrow. But I know I'm living today, and I've got millions of goals in my head sometimes. I like that feeling because I've got me, and that's all I ever need.
For some kids, the Friday night meeting would bring the news they had worked for so long.
Okay, you're all 7th step tonight.
Seventh step, the graduation. It's a hard program, and this marks the end of months and months of struggles and the beginning of a new life. There are more lawsuits being filed against Straight Incorporated, alleging everything from physical abuse to civil rights violations. But there's still hundreds of parents every week looking at Straight to help their troubled children.
Thank you, Tom. Well, next, Gloria Steinem tapped...